Hi everyone. I hope everybody's holiday so far is going pretty good. We just got our tree up today, and I've got Ryan here. He's gonna help me wrap a few Christmas presents. I decided to do it this way because I know I think it's Betty's Beauties kind of just touched on this in a video within the last couple days. And, I've kind of noticed the same thing, and I'm getting a little frustrated. As you know, I just did that Christmas giveaway that Rhonda won. And I'm currently working on doing a second giveaway once we hit 125 viewers for a New Year's. And on both giveaways, I have been getting lots of comments, and just today alone, I deleted, I want to say, like 5 or 6 comments about, sorry, it's my husband's Christmas present that the kids picked out. But just today alone, I want to say I deleted like 5 or 6 comments of people on my last video talking about the New Year's giveaway. That it was very, 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 very clear that these are either A, young people, and when I say young people, I'm including teenagers and children, that it was young people that didn't even watch my previous video. Because they're talking about, oh, please give me the full body silicone because I want it. Okay, if you watched either of the videos for giveaways, nowhere have I mentioned I'm going to be giving Ryan away. First of all, full body silicones, real ones, cost a minimum. I've seen some as cheap as $800, and that's for some boo-boo babies. But you're looking at $1,000 plus for a full body silicone. Yes, there are some on eBay, but that come from China, but those are fake reborns. Or not reborn. Well, they do have fake reborns as well. Those aren't real silicone babies. Those are knockoff silicone babies of doll kits that have been pieced together, a mold was poured, and then they poured silicone. From the ones that I've seen that people have, when they come, they pretty much have no paint on them. And so the few people that choose to keep them, they usually end up sending them off to somebody to paint them, root their hair, and make them look a lot better, but still they're taboo in this community. My silicone is not a Chinese knockoff. She is Dakota, sculpted by Angela Lewis, who I am Facebook friends with. So I've seen pictures of this actual doll from the artist. She sculpts them, she pours them, she paints them. You can buy blank kits from her, or you can buy kits that she has painted. I paid over, I'm not going to say the exact price, but I paid over $1,000 for my silicone. I'm not giving her away. And actually, I didn't pay that for her. My husband did. This year, we had a big move. Our Mother's Day, our anniversary. I'm trying to think of other things that happened while he was down here in Texas and I was still in North Dakota with our kids that we missed. Valentine's Day, he had to work. And I mean, he got me little things for those. but nothing that he really wanted to, because around Valentine's Day was when we found out that there was the possibility of us having to move. And it turns out right after Valentine's Day, he works for the railroad, he got furloughed, which means basically he got temporarily laid off. And he was that way for about a month till he ended up moving here, and I stayed in North Dakota with the kids to finish out our lease on our apartment, and so my son could finish school. And then my husband came back up to North Dakota to move us over the summer. So when it came to buying a gift for my birthday in September, he asked me, he said, "What do you want?" And I told him, I go, I've always wanted a full body silicone. And he goes, "How much are they?" And I had found one initially that was around, I want to say, I can't remember exactly. It was probably like $900. So it was on the cheap end for a full body, but it was a boo-boo baby. It was a doll. Like Dakota, she has a ball-jointed neck, so you probably can't see the camera angle, but there's a gap between her body and her neck, and there is a ball in there so you can turn her head. Kind of sticks sometimes, but you can turn her head side to side. The silicone that I had looked at that was that price, the neck joint had broke, or had gotten torn off, or I don't honestly 100% remember how the neck broke, but the seller had said that the neck was broke, so she permanently glued the head onto the body, so the neck could no longer turn, as well as there was a few small tears that she had fixed with silicone glue, and I want to say it was the armpits. And for a silicone, full body silicone, that was a good price, and honestly I did not mind the boo-boos on it, and it was a boy, and it was a good size silicone. I want to say he was 21 inches. But that fell through. I contacted the seller, we worked out some stuff, and then all of a sudden the seller came back to me and said, "Oh, by the way, if you really want this doll, the only payment I will take is PayPal, friends, and family." Okay, anybody that has been around the internet in the last even 6 months and has used PayPal should know you never, ever, 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 ever send money through PayPal as friends and family unless you personally know the person. Like an instance, Crystal and I, we've been friends for over 10 years. We have met in person twice. She has stayed in my home. She's planning on staying, or hopefully she can visit this coming spring, and she will stay in my home again. Now, if Crystal purchases something for me in Canada and sends it from Canada to the U.S., I will pay her friends and family so she doesn't have to pay the fees. But I know her. She is a friend, not just a internet friend or some random stranger. So, yeah, as soon as I said that, I'm like, no, I will not send it friends and family. I'd be even willing to pay a little bit more on the price, to cover some of the fees. I'm not going to cover all of them, but I will cover some of the fees. And I didn't hear back, and then a few days later I finally heard back, and sorry, the doll sold. Somebody was willing to pay with friends and family. Was I disappointed? Yes. But you know what? I still continued looking. To me, that baby was not meant to be my baby. And I found another baby that I kind of fell in love with on eBay. And I was going back and forth with the seller because the pictures and the description didn't really match together. And the description didn't really make any sense. Like, the doll looked like it was peeling. And the doll was overpriced for... Okay, I'm sorry, I'm OCD when it comes to wrapping. This is going to bother me. The doll was overpriced for being... It was a boo-boo baby. It was a major boo-boo baby. It was a Michelle Fagan full-body silicone boy. And while I fell in love with his face, I mean, the seller turned out to kind of be a nut job because she kept telling me, oh, no, that's not peeling. That is the finish of the doll. It's made so that the dolls feel like, when you touch them, it's like touching a baby with dry skin. Okay, well, this is my first full-body silicone doll. This isn't my first silicone doll. Yes, I've had Heritage Mint silicone doll. I've had an Ashton Drake silicone doll. While they are mass-produced dolls, I know that when you touch them, it's not supposed to feel like dry skin unless the paint is peeling. So, you know, I was trying to get the seller down on her price, and she just would not budge. And one minute the price was $700, then she would change the price to $1,500, then it was $800, then it was $600. I mean, it was all over the place. And like I said, I had been messaging the seller because if I could have got her at a good price, or him actually, at a good price, I would have looked at getting him for that price. Then I would, these are my niece, so they need to go in a girl paper. But if I would have gotten him for a good price, I would have sent him off to a reborner, or not a reborn, somebody that paints silicone babies, and had him redone. And I would have paid, you know, if I could have got a good price, say for instance I could have got him for $600, and it would cost $600 to have him stripped and repainted and all that other stuff. You know, I wouldn't have had an issue. And I even contacted Michelle. I showed her the link and like some of the screenshots of what the seller kept saying. And Michelle came back and said, no, that's a definite boo-boo baby. She goes, I can tell you that, because the seller didn't even have a certificate of authenticity for it. Michelle could figure out which doll it was by the color of its hair. And she goes, I can tell you, she even showed me a picture of the doll before she sent it out. She's like, he did not look like that when I sent him out. Now I know there's some controversy with Michelle, and for a while there it seemed like there was some lower quality dolls that did peel. But, you know, talking to Michelle about this, she's like, I'm sorry, I don't have time to fix this one. She told me when that one would have been made, and it did not fall within this time frame. That supposedly there was the poorer quality dolls. The dolls that she makes now, again, have been a lot better. And the ones that she made before this time period were great. It was just, she was going through a lot of stuff personally, and I'm not going to get into her personal life details. Just that's what happened. Um, but she's like, this doll was not made during that time. Somebody did something to this doll that they shouldn't have. And so she put me in contact with another lady that fixes and paints and stuff silicone dolls. Well, I contacted that lady and I never really got a response back. So, and then, like I said, the seller just seemed kind of crazy. Like, she had other dolls that the pictures were horrible to begin with. They were blurry, they were grainy, they were either taken with a flash or taken, like, in really bad lighting. And the seller kept claiming, oh, I took them in daylight. And it's like, no, you did not take those pictures in daylight. But, you know, I just thought it's not worth the risk. You know, I'm going to be paying a lot for this doll. Am I looking for a quote-unquote perfect baby? No, I'm just looking for something that I can be happy with. So I gave up on that one and I just kept, you know, trucking along, you know, watching Facebook, watching Instagram, watching YouTube, seeing if a silicone baby within my price range would come up. And none did. So finally I put a post on Dolphin asking for a full body silicone. I put in my price range that my husband had said was doable. And, you know, there were some people that offered me dolls I just was not interested in. So I thanked them and declined. And honestly, I do not remember the seller because my Dolphin has since lapsed. My credit card was hacked or compromised over the summer. So I got a new debit card number. Well, I didn't realize that my Dolphin subscription was under the other one, and so when it went to renew it, it was canceled. And I forgot to redo it, and when I contacted the administrator, he's like, oh, your account was deleted because you were over the 7 days from when your account your account was deactivated. And it's like, really? Okay, whatever. I'm sorry, but I'm not paying $20 a year when I can go on Facebook and find things. I can go on YouTube. I mean, there's other ways of finding various things. I don't need to find stuff on Dolphin. But anyways, so the seller, cat finally got out. The seller contacted me and she's like, I know you said you were looking for a little boy. I've got these two dolls that she goes, I'm kind of him-hawing about listing. And she goes, before I list them, she goes, I wanted to offer which one you wanted. She actually was very kind. She offered me less than what she was going to list them as. It was more than what my husband had initially said. But once I talked to him, he was fine with it because it wasn't a whole lot more than what we agreed upon. And, you know, I paid her right away. I looked through the two dolls and there was a Melissa McCoy doll that was offered to me and Dakota. And I can't remember which Melissa doll was offered to me. I just remember she was an open-eyed. Both of them were girls. And while I did prefer a boy, you know, I fell in love with Dakota. And, you know, it was something about, I've always had a thing for sleeper babies. I don't know why. I know some people don't like sleeper babies because they think the dolls look dead. Personally, I don't. They look peaceful to me. They're that honestly, with my kids, the best cuddles came when they were sleeping. Because they were warm and they would just kind of snuggle right into you, especially when they got a little bit bigger. But I fell in love with her face, her red hair, everything. So that's why I chose her. And, you know, this is what frustrates me about this community is the beggars that are obviously not watching the videos, because if you watch the video, you would know I'm not giving her away. So why are you commenting? And the thing is I even look, these are people that haven't even subscribed to my channel. Some of them, I guess there was one that was, but most of them aren't even people that subscribe to my channel. But they are leaving comments begging me to send them a doll because, oh, it's the only thing I want for Christmas. Okay then, if that is the only thing you want for Christmas, ask your family. I'm not your family. I'm not obligated to give you a gift, nor do I have to. And honestly, this is a big thing that's wrong with the generations coming up. They are very me, and they feel they're entitled to everything. Just because I have a silicone doll does not mean you are entitled to this doll. This is my doll. I paid for it. You know, my husband works hard. I am a stay-at-home mom. He works hard to provide for our family. And provide for me. I mean, our kids have pretty much everything they can ever want. Excuse me. But you know, if you want a silicone doll or you want a reborn, you know, I have Rory who's in the crib right now. He is technically not even a reborn right now because he's just a blank kit that I put together temporarily till I can save up the money to get him reborn. Or if I eventually just finally break down and buy the stuff and teach myself how to reborn. I mean, I think Rory was with shipping. The kit was probably $20. The body was another $11. Shipping is $8 with Bountiful Babies. You can go to Walmart and buy the polyfill for $2. And you can buy the glass beads for, I think it's $2 something a pound. I got them on sale when I bought Rory, so I bought some extras. But if you really want a doll, you know, there's other ways. Start saving your own money. Ask your family, you know what, instead of me wanting an iPhone 7 for Christmas, how about you buy me a reborn doll? Or instead of an iPhone 7, how about some PayPal or eBay gift cards? You know, there's other ways to get the doll. Get a job if you're old enough. I mean, I remember even as a teenager, I've been into dolls my whole life. I had a job as a teenager. I mean, were lifelike dolls, did I know they existed at that point? No. I knew baby think-it-overs existed, and then later finding out the neonates existed. But back before right around the time with baby think-it-overs, I had looked on eBay, and they were at that point, you know, a minimum $500 for a Generation 3. And I mean, I knew I didn't have that kind of money as a 16, 17, 18-year-old. I didn't have that kind of money sitting around to buy it right away. So I bought a Cabbage Patch doll. My friend and I don't even remember how old we are. I want to say, I knew I was driving, so it was either 16 or 17. Like, her and I would goof around. Her and I seriously went to the toy store, or it might have been Walmart. We were shopping one day, and both of us bought Cabbage Patch dolls. You know, just these little 12-inch Cabbage Patch dolls. And we would goof around and pretend they were our babies at that point. Were we teenagers then? Yes. But you don't have to have a $1,000 doll. You know, if you want to have you can go buy a play doll. I mean, there's other dolls out there. There's Ashton Drake's. If you're 18 or older, you can go to Ashton Drake's website and do a payment plan. They make it affordable. I mean, there's other ways to get dolls than begging. And like I said, and I know Betty kind of touched on it, that she's gotten frustrated because of her giveaway that she's doing. And the people messaging her, emailing her on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube begging for the doll. You know, just say, I want to give it to me. Or making up lies to get it. You know, that's what frustrates a lot of us in the community. I mean, I never got my doll for free. I didn't beg the seller to give her to me for free. I paid for her. Or should I say my husband paid for her. She was my Valentine's, Mother's Day, our wedding anniversary, and birthday. So 4 holidays this year. That was my gift, all put together. And about the amount that we spent on her is roughly around what he spent on each holiday. And I've told him in the past too, or I told him, I go, you know, for Christmas, here is my Christmas gift, a new camera. Because A, my daughter is driving us nuts, stealing our phone, taking pictures. So my old camera, which is almost 10 years old, my old point and shoot, will be going to her. This will be my new camera to take pictures and do videos. But that's what he got me for Christmas this year. I've told him, I go, I would rather, instead of buying little smaller gifts in these other holidays, I would rather just do one bigger gift. That would be fine. And so, like, we've already discussed what he possibly might be doing next year for the holidays. Because I need a new computer. And honestly, as much snobbish as it sounds, I only like Macs. I went from a PC. I have 2 Macs that are kind of half running. One is a 2007 and the other is a 2008. So one is 9 years old and the other is 8 years old. So they're older laptops. But still, you know, they work. So I've been using them. But this is what kind of frustrates me with this community. And I know since I've been in the community, there has always been beggars. Even in Doll Fan, there used to be a girl that came into Doll Fan. She was probably, at that time, 13. And this was right around when Ashton Drake came out with the first Emily doll. And she went to some doll and bear show or doll show saying that she brought the Emily doll with her and that she was sick and dying and that she sat the doll down, and when she turned to talk to somebody, and when she turned back around, her doll was gone. Now, first of all, come to find out, she was not sick or dying. She never had an Emily doll. Because at this point, Emily was hard to get. Welcome Home Emily. Unless she was a pre-ordered doll, it was hard to get them for a while. Because that was the first realistic mass-produced doll. And she was made out of their silicone vinyl mix stuff. And so she comes to Doll Fan begging people to give her another one because she can't afford another one. And people, you know, in this community do have big hearts. So they sent her a doll because they felt bad for her. Multiple people sent her dolls because they felt bad for her. And like I said, it comes to light that she never had the doll to begin with. She never went to this doll show because nobody at the doll show could remember her there. And then come to find out she wasn't sick. She never had